chalk is in my possession. Let's draw, let's create, let's paint. That's what it's about. I'm an artist. For those of you who don't know me, let me give you a brief introduction. I'm a world-renowned artist. Painter, drawer, anything with a pen, pencil, paintbrush, I can draw it, I can do it very well. So this instruction that you are getting is very, very valuable. This is very valuable instruction that I'm going to give you right now. Okay, so you need to watch very closely. Now I'm going to tell you, some of the things I can do, I've been doing this a very long time. So just because I do it doesn't mean you can do it at home. So don't let this overwhelm you when you look at how great my work is and you're like, I don't know if I can do it like as good as he can. Don't worry. Just follow along very closely. Now this first piece, I have an easel here. As you can see, this is an easel. If you don't have an easel at home, you can use paper. You can use paper at home. If you have sidewalk chalk, you can write on the sidewalk. So we're gonna go around here. Now once again, if you can't do this at home, don't worry about it, okay? Okay, here we go. Takes a little bit of time. Gotta take your time sometimes. Sometimes people like to rush, but I take my time. I take my time because when you take your time, you do great, brilliant work. And I'm a great, brilliant artist. Okay. 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 I'm still working. Bear with me for a second here. Okay. Okay. Now, can you see that? I want to make sure you can see that. I call it hamburger helper. Hamburger helper.
What's going on? It's Javon Johnson here. You're watching episode number 126 of About 10 Minutes. How you feeling? How you doing? I've been doing this show for about 2.5 years, and one of the cool things about doing this show is getting feedback from people who watch the show. You know, sometimes people may bring it up in a conversation and tell me different things about the show, and that's a cool thing. And so what I'm thinking about doing is doing like a viewer appreciation show. And it'd be a situation where like y'all could throw out different ideas. Maybe you may have different ideas with different characters I've done in the past. Maybe you like to see them in different skits or scenarios, things like that. And also I may do like a Q&A show. So if you have questions that you'd like to ask me, feel free to visit eternalexample.com. You can go under the Contact Javon tab, and then you can send it that way. And thank you for watching the show. I appreciate that.
Have you planned for eternity? What you been thinking about lately? 10,000 years.
And so today I like to focus on balance. I like to focus on the topic of balance. Balance is a very important thing. If we lose our balance in the natural sense, like if we walking and we stumble and trip over something, we can lose our balance and we can end up falling. You know, same thing like you riding a bike or something like that. And so likewise in other areas of our lives, it's important for us to have that balance. For instance, you can take something like eating. Eating is a very important thing. It's important for us to get nutrients and to get food in our system. But the thing about it is, if somebody just eats hour upon hour round the clock and never stops eating, that's going to lead to other issues. Another area is like something like working out. Working out has a lot of benefits, but it's also important to rest as well. If a person just works out around the clock and never sleeps, never eats, just works out around the clock, that's going to cause some issues. And so likewise in other areas of our lives, it's important that we have balance. The decisions that we make now can have a big impact on our future. So it's important to look at the decisions that we make, to look at our habits, to look at our patterns, and to say, okay, are these patterns honoring God? Are these patterns lining up with the Bible, the way that I'm living my life? My study time as far as reading the Bible, do I have a good balance in that area? Am I putting time into reading my Bible? Am I putting time into my personal time with God? Am I really spending time with God in that area? We can look at, do we have balance in our spending? You know, with our money. You know, do we just go out and spend money on whatever we want, or are we saving it? Are we investing it? I like to look at that, because it can be very easy to just go out and spend money and do whatever we want to do with our money, but it's important to have that balance even in that area. Like the way we spend our time and the way we spend our money can say a lot about what we value. It's important for us to be good stewards over those things and the other things that God blesses us with. At the end of the day, what we do for Christ is what really matters. You know, I mean, that's what really matters. And so it's important for us, you know, to keep Him first. Now, we have other things we have to do. We have responsibilities and things that we have to do. So I'm not saying that we just sit around and just ignore the responsibilities and things that we have. But it's important for us to always keep Christ first. For example, if God blesses you with a business, maybe you have a restaurant, and you have certain responsibilities at that restaurant. You have orders you need to place for suppliers who are going to be bringing in different food items you're going to need to cook and all that kind of stuff. And so with that being said, I'm not saying that you don't handle those responsibilities. It's still important to handle those responsibilities, but to make sure that Christ is always the priority. Sometimes what can happen if a person isn't careful, they can start to put all their focus into that business, that restaurant, to where they start spending less and less and less and less time with God. Sometimes things can start to happen subtle where we kind of start losing focus a little here, a little there, and then before you know it, it's kind of like, whoa. It's like, whoa, you start losing your balance, like, whoa, what happened? And so you may not fall all the way down, but you can be in danger of falling, into some things that you don't need to be into. You can look at athletics. It's very important to train, but it's also important to eat healthy. It's also important to get that rest. In sports like basketball or football, it's very important to learn the plays you're going to be running. A person can be in really, really good shape, but not learn the plays. But then that can lead to issues when they're on the court or on the field, and they're not where they're supposed to be. Somebody passing them the ball, they're supposed to be over here, and they're way over here. And so it's important for us to have that proper balance to make sure, okay, yeah, make sure I'm taking care of business in this area, but also in this area, in this area, in this area. Once again, the decisions that we make now can have a big impact on our future. So it's important for us to make wise decisions, and so we can make good decisions by staying connected to Jesus Christ and being led by Him. Yeah, balance is important. We almost in the month of October, and one of the things about October is that month where it's a lot of sports going on at one time. You got baseball going on, you got football going on, then you got like basketball preseason going on, then you got like hockey going on. Yeah, I know about hockey too. One of these days I might talk about like my experience trying to play hockey. It wasn't like an organized team. I didn't have like all the hockey like pads and all that kind of stuff on. But I did have some hockey skates. I still have those skates too. So one of these days I might show those skates. But yeah, I tried to play hockey. I got out there and was skating around and stuff. And ice skating is different than roller skating. If anybody who's done it too. Ice skating, man, you can feel it on your ankles, man. One of these days I might talk about that story some more. But anyhow, I want to thank you for watching episode number 126 of About 10 Minutes.